Welcome to Ron's RC Garage in Peoria, Arizona. It's Sunday, July 3rd. We're not doing any racing at Fair Farm this weekend. We had some heavy weather coming into Phoenix, and plus being the 4th of July weekend, they decided just to call it off, and that's all good. And no, I'm not jumping ship on AE. We're still all AE. I've been doing some kit builds for Clay down at Quick's RC. Just need a little help with a couple of them. And he knows I got the time. So that's what that's all about. We have had some issues with this T3. And it got to the point that it's time to do something with it. Clay really wanted, the owner of Quick's RC, really wanted to drive this truck. So we took it out to practice last Wednesday. I put some practice tires on it, and he ran a tank through it to get used to the truck, the radio, and he's never run the track layout that we've got now. And we brought it back in. I put some decent tires on it, and Clay is a real quality driver. He's fast, he's smooth, and really knows his stuff. So he ran a couple of tanks through it, and he said, "Ron, this T3 is one heck of a truck. You got this thing dialed. It is really fun to drive." And he was quick. So he was really impressed with it. Really liked it. And he is a Mugen OS guy all the way. But of course, this is a pretty good spin-off of a Mugen, as everybody knows. I still run the Reedy VRST. I love the engines. I wish they would have kept them in production. I've got one in my B3 buggy. It's got 8 gallons through it, and it's still strong. This is a new one I found. It's just got about 3 quarts run through it in race tune. And he liked it. He said, "Ron, that thing's got good power. It's sweet." But the problem is, I've run this truck for about a month now, and normally, I'm an older guy. I'm not a fast guy, but I'm very patient driving. And I normally finish my races, period. I usually get a decent finish because of other people's attrition. So that's my MO. I have yet to finish a main event with this truck because, and not due to me crashing, this truck won't run 20 minutes. It won't do it. And it's always the same problem. The fuel tanks. AE's got a problem with these. I cracked one and broke one 2 Saturdays ago, 2.5 minutes into the main. They split right at the seams, and not from rough driving or hard landings. The adhesion, whoever's making their tanks, they need to step up their quality control or find another vendor. That's my opinion. I'm getting tired of having 2 or 3 spare gas tanks and not finishing races. So that being said, I said that's enough. I'm going to put a fix on this one way or the other. So I took the truck down to Quick's RC Monday and got with Clay, and I said, "Clay, we're not doing this anymore." His 3rd run on this truck Wednesday during practice, we split a tank and lost it. So that's the 3rd fuel tank this thing's going through. And I talked to AE about it. They have some update shim pack for the V2 diffs on this truck. And you call them up, they'll send you a set. And so I got those on the way, and I mentioned the fuel tank, and they said, "Well, we haven't heard about a problem, but we'll send you another tank." But, what good does that do? I said, "Yeah, go ahead and send it. Thank you." But I doubt it's going to be any better. So it's time to do something. So went down to Clay's, and we started looking around, and he said, "Ron, that looks close to a Mugen." So we took a tank off the wall. It's off MBX7T, and the mounts look like they would kind of go in this, that, and the next thing. So I said, "Okay, let me work with that, Clay." So anyway, just finally now, it's one issue after another anytime you're trying to swap parts, different manufacturer and so forth. Finally got over on the whole thing. I'm pretty sure this is going to stay fixed. For any of you that are running this truck and having a problem, I feel totally confident this fix will work for you. I'm going to save you about 4 hours of head scratching and playing games I've done that, and I think this will work for you, and I think it's a bulletproof fix. The tank itself, the Mugen part number is an E2816. Okay, that's pretty much a no-brainer. You take the tank and you ream the mounting holes carefully, just so they'll slide over the mounting post on the truck. Okay, that being said, lay the tank on the truck. The Mugen tank has a little sump, I call it, where the fuel pickup is and the fuel filter, as AE does, down at the back end of the tank. The relief in the chassis is in a little different place and not quite deep enough for this tank. So I went ahead and put two 4mm washers underneath each mounting pedestal. They're both about 1 millimeter thick, and then accommodated those with a little longer screws to make sure we got enough screw contact to keep everything in. And then to give it the cushion and so forth, I've got two AE shock O-rings that go underneath the tank. That keeps it off the chassis and gives it the pivot. And I also use one more on top of the mounting screws with a washer. So it gives it plenty of motion so the fuel won't foam, and it's on there good and rock solid. So that part was all good. Next thing, I mocked it up, put the tank in, put the engine on. Well, the screw in the crankshaft that holds the clutch bell and everything on was barely rubbing the tank, and that's not going to work. I've always used, you know, a hex head screw, so that was easy to fix. I just put a button head screw in the front of it, and that gives it over 1 millimeter of clearance, so that's done. Next problem, kind of ongoing here, pardon me, I'm here alone, one-handed. Okay, so we got a lot of this going on. Now the tank's in there and it's all happy. So then let's put the radio tray on here and see what we got going on. Your rods for your brake linkage hit the tank. So, here we go again. It's just one thing after another, but it's worth it. Went ahead and moved these collars up as close as they can go without putting any brake on the truck, with the radio tray on and everything hooked up. And then just cut the excess off of the shafts. And now with full brake with a lot of ATL, there's about 2 millimeters of clearance between the linkage and the tank. So there's no interference anywhere. So the thing should be bulletproof. Just need to reroute your fuel lines and so forth. This tank has the fuel outlet to the engine at the rear, the AE's out front. That's, you know, no-brainer. I think you can all run fuel lines. That kind of does it. I didn't want to hash up the truck itself, so I'm going ahead and continue to use an AE tank for a spare, just in case something stupid does happen. And it's all plumbed with the fuel lines and everything on, so I can pop it on and plug it right in the engine, not have to worry about playing games. So that's pretty much what it's all about. I think this is going to fix it. If you have any comments or whatever you think, you know, feel free to let me know. I'll answer them the best I can, and I will give you a update on this when we run again. With that being said, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Stay safe and have a really enjoyable 4th tomorrow. And stay cool with everything. Bye-bye.